Since 2019, DW Excavating has been serving Roane and surrounding counties. We offer services including, but not limited to, repairing driveways, construction site preparation, drainage solutions, property brush clearing, farm road construction, culvert repair and installation, and utility line installation and repair. We provide free estimates. Check out our Facebook page or contact us at 304-532-2968 for more information. DW Excavating, taking pride in our work and in our community. DW Excavating is a proud supporter of all Roane County High School athletics. Go Raiders!
Good evening. We're going to do a check. Making sure everybody can hear me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Raider Review, episode number 11, live from Route 33 Steakhouse in downtown Spencer, West Virginia. Matt White, appreciate you helping me with the camera work there, buddy. It is Wednesday nights, and we are still barely in the month of October. And we have got a lot to talk about here tonight. Not a lot of sports left over. A lot of the fall sports, in fact, finishing up their seasons. We had a good conversation last week with the head coach of Roane County High School's golf team, Bubba Kendall. Brought in some of the players as well, talked about the finish of their season and how that all went. Lady Raider Volleyball has finished up their season for the year. A tough finish on Monday night. They went over to Buffalo and lost 3-0 to Buffalo, and then Clay County to finish up their season. Final record for the Lady Raiders and, of course, first-year head coach Shady White was 10-29-3. But there is a lot of youth on that team, a lot of youngsters that will be back next year, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores, just one junior was on that team this year, so everybody coming back next year. It'll be an exciting year in year number 2 for Coach Shandy White. We're looking forward to that. Of course, we'll talk a little bit later about that. We'll talk a little bit later about the middle school program from Spencer Middle School who made the postseason for the CWVAC, and they were in action. Live coverage we had last Thursday night on WVRC's streaming services, so we had all that to talk about as well. I'm going to send a big shout-out to the Roane County High School cheer squad, or not the high school, sorry, the Roane County youth team cheer squad and football programs. They both were in action last week. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But if you're watching us on YouTube and Facebook, I guess we're on Twitch. That's a Joe McDonald question for me. Apparently TikTok is not working, so I guess we're not on the youth TikTok version of things. But we are live on the radio, of course, as we tend to be. And if you're watching us on both of those, you see a lady beside of us. Now, I'm not going to give away the whole bag here, but you should probably not be here with me. I'm going to say that, but I am happy that she is here with us. And that is the head cross-country coach, and that's Tony McGinnis. Tony, thank you very much for joining us. And like I said, I'm not going to give away why it is so spectacular that you're here. I'm just happy that you're here. How about that?
That sounds good. That works for me.
Well, Tony, you've been at this now for quite a while in many different iterations, but you've been at the high school for the last few years. And this cross-country season, I know for you, obviously, was very exciting coming in because what we're trying to do every single year is just find numbers.
Yeah.
You're just trying to find people who will run cross-country. Well, this year, you finally had enough to field a team score for boys and a team score for girls at times.
At times, and then unfortunately, injuries and, kids being kids, they want to work, they want to start their adult life versus their kid life, and life happens. So we managed to do more girl team-wise this year than we did boys. So 4 or 5 meets, we actually had a girls team, which is, I think, very, very unheard of. I don't think Coach Neal ever had a full girls team. I don't know when there was a last girls team?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I mean, I know just a couple years ago, and even last year, 2 girls.
Yeah, 2 girls.
You know, so it's been a nice little growing issue, and you got some really good athletes that are staring us down right now. By the way,
Yeah, there's a couple of them that are really, really, really. Josie Cox. I don't know how she does it. She's got so many fires a burning. I couldn't keep up with her schedule for nothing.
You know, the word is, burning the candle on both ends. She needs like a 4-pronged candle.
Yeah.
To burn on 4 sides of that. We're going to talk to the ones who have made it with us here. Let's talk about the season for you, Coach. Obviously, number one, the excitement, joining the opportunity to get team scores. Now, it didn't always happen, but just to be able to have the opportunity to post team scores is that little extra notch that you haven't had.
Right. I mean, having more than 2 girls is just a miracle. And Olivia and Leanne, they were like, we want to run. We're throwers. They're my track throwers.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to run. I'm like, okay. So they showed up and they ran, and I've never seen 2 girls more determined to finish. In the beginning it was just to finish, and then the finishing became, hey, I need to be 2 seconds faster, and then it was a minute faster. I've never seen 2 girls work as hard as they worked this season, and to see, that throughout the season, and then being able to score those team points again, they felt that they were able to contribute to their team.
I think another cool thing is, you get Lillian Sotomayor, who was a track athlete for years previous, and I know that we were all excited about her coming up. Well, she got a nasty injury last, always over a year ago.
Yeah.
And we weren't sure if she was going to be able to make it back to play sports at all.
Exactly.
And so to get her back and to get her in this season was nice.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. And Lily is just a natural competitor. So, she struggled with not being where she, felt she should be, but I was like, you were not walking a year ago.
You had to reconstruct your knee a bit ago.
Exactly. So, and that was our goal this season, was just to put one foot in front of the other with Lily and start building and preparing for track season.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the goal of this season, was to get her back running and to watch her run. And that very first meet, to watch her sprint across that finish line, knowing how far and how hard she had to work to get there, was just amazing to watch.
Speaking of hard work, you do have one that's not finished just yet.
Yes, I do have one.
And I'm excited to talk to this young lady, because it's been like, at this point, I don't know, 15 interviews I've had with this girl. It goes way back. And she has worked hard to get herself to where she is. And she's only a sophomore, and she is headed to the state meet.
And she's headed to the state meet. And for me, it's my first athlete that I've had go to the state meet. So I'm extremely proud of her. If you're ever in Spencer, you're going to see her running through the streets. I mean, this girl never stops running. I mean, she has a passion, and I hope she never loses it. But, man, proud is not a big enough word.
We're talking about Addie Taylor, by the way. You can wave to the camera that we got over there. That is Addie Taylor, again, the sophomore, who finished 9th in the region.
In the regional, she finished 9th. And I'm really excited for her going into this week. Run WV has posted their rankings up to regionals. And Addie is coming in at number 24.
Yeah.
And they're placing the top 20 at states. So she knows
where she is,
she
but
knows
where she wants to be.
She knows where she wants to be, and there's not a doubt she's going to go out and leave it all out on that course to get one of those medals around her neck.
So let's talk about the boys' side of things. You got a couple of new runners for yourself.
Yeah.
Obviously, Mac Webb coming in as a wrestler. Well, that's a great way to stay in shape, by the way, Mac. Become a track athlete or a cross-country athlete. Noah Penna was in and out at times.
Noah was in and out.
But you got a group of other guys. Jimmy Lance coming in.
Jimmy came in this year, and then, had Nick and Noah, my 2 consistents.
Yeah.
They really help these younger ones, or the newbies that come in. They really take them under their wing and escort them around and, tell them how to do this and how to do that. So they make my job easier. year, of course. So that's always nice. But Matt coming in, you know he's a runner. He's working with Alpha. He's running 2, 3, 4 miles a day. And it took Josie Cox to get him to come out. But I'm so glad he did because he was right there. I mean, I had 4 boys that were consistently running, and they were all 4 within places of each other.
Yeah.
It was always a battle for me who was going to finish first of my guys because they were competing amongst themselves while they were out there running.
You know, normally you say healthy competition. I imagine there's probably some trash talking amongst the group of these guys. I can only imagine.
And it's not just the guys trash talking each other. The girls, I think, are worse than the boys.
What?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. These girls do not let these boys get away with nothing.
I can't imagine the sweetness of Addie Taylor or Josie Cox getting a little bit.
She's sweet, but you put her out on that course, she'll throw an elbow if she needs to.
That would be fine with me. I'd love to see him throw some bows. That'd be all right with me.
If you've never seen a cross meet, at the start of a cross meet, sometimes you just got to get those elbows out and make your room to go. And I've seen her elbows come out a time or two. She'll hold her own.
Well, Coach, it's a good group of kids, number one, that you have, and that makes a lot easier for you.
And I will say, I called this our season of changes. We've got kids coming and going and can't be here because they're off running at band or they're off at soccer, or they're injured or they're sick. And then I've had some major health issues, so I've not been around. I've had to have Rob Taylor fill in, and our good old AD, he's one of a kind. I'm telling you, step in and take over if I need him to. I mean, Toby's filling in this weekend at the state meet, and he's already, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You're going to have to help me out here. And so it's been a trip, and then he's hollering at me not to be coaching from the couch.
I will say, when in doubt, just tell Toby to scream, run faster.
Yeah. Well,
so that's what Addie's going to hear.
He's more concerned with the paperwork side of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because, for track and cross, he just has to do the SSAC stuff, and the rest of it, we pretty much self-sustain ourselves, and he's a fish out of water right now. And it's not normal Toby to be fish out of water, but being the AD that he is, he just steps in whenever needed. And I couldn't have done it without my parents this year stepping in and helping when I had to be away. And Toby, like I said, Rob was covering for me for a while, so they've been awesome. And then my kids, they've persevered through that. They've been a support system for me as much as I have been for them, and they've rolled with the punches and have still competed the way they've competed all season. There's not enough words to describe what a good group of kids they are and how proud of them I am every time they step out on the course.
Well, we hope that the underclassmen all come back, and we hope that again next year you're able to get yourself a whole crew once again on both sides so we can do some team scores.
They better start doing some recruiting.
Yes, it's time to recruit. Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us again. I know you shouldn't be here. I hope Toby's not watching right now, honestly. But thank you for coming. And again, after the break, we're going to talk to all these track and field athletes and these cross-country runners that have joined us here tonight. We don't have the full group, but we'll talk to the ones that are here. Again, Coach Tony McGinnis for the Roane County High School cross-country team. We're going to take a break, folks. We'll be back in just a bit.
Hello, Raider fans. This is Andrew Miller, voice of your Roane County Raiders, inviting you to join us for another exciting week of Raider football on WVRC 104.7 FM. Last week, the Raiders put forth quite possibly their best effort of the season in a dominant 42-8 victory over Mingo Central. This week, the Raiders hit the road for the final time in the regular season as they travel all the way north to Marion County to face off against the North Marion Huskies. Roane County High School football is brought to you by these community-minded sponsors: Roane General Hospital, McIntosh Hardware, Furniture, and Appliance, Jack Garrett Ford, Ashley Insurance, S2F Construction, Joel Baker Law, PLLC, Paramount Surveying, Route 33 Steakhouse, Miller's Suds and Sales, Roane Self Storage, Crazy Little Mamas, APS, Air Production and Services Inc., Circle S Farms, Roane Jackson Technical Center, Old Fences Realty, Backwood Ramblings, Stats Pharmacy, Erica Moore for House of Delegates, Honest Fred's Flooring, D&D Motors, Hildreth Supply, Family Healthcare, Groves Auto, Ward Depew Realty, Penna's Barbershop, Norman L. Daniels State Farm Agent, Hardman Supply, Juliana Penfold for House of Delegates, ECI Environmental Compliance Inc., Carpenter's General Store, Mini Hamilton Health Systems, Poca Valley Bank, Spencer McDonald's, Rich Top Rentals, Spencer Cash Saver, Brandon Dental, DW Excavating LLC, Spencer Pizza Hut, Kirby Insurance, Calhoun Banks, and the Player of the Game Award sponsored by Willard-T. Starcher Auto Parts. Join us this Friday night. Pregame coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. and kickoff is set for 7 o'clock p.m. right here on your sports leader, WVRC 104.7 FM.
Since 2019, DW Excavating has been serving Roane and surrounding counties. We offer services including, but not limited to, repairing driveways, construction site preparation, drainage solutions, property brush clearing, farm road construction, culvert repair and installation, and utility line installation and repair. We provide free estimates. Check out our Facebook page or contact us at 304-532-2968 for more information. DW Excavating, taking pride in our work and in our community. DW Excavating is a proud supporter of all Roane County High School athletics. Go Raiders!
I'm smiling, don't you worry, buddy. Get these things up here. I'll always take a picture. Hey, we got a bunch of kids here in, I would say studio, because I'm just used to the studio. But we are at Route 33 Steakhouse again, folks. Episode number 11 of the Raider Review, and we have almost the entirety of the Roane County High School cross-country program. We've got boys, we've got girls. We're missing a few of them, but that's okay. We wanted to say hi to people that were tuning in, obviously. Anthony Browning tuning in. Bruce Neal said, way to go, Tony. And he also said 1 year they had a full girls team as well. And Toby Ford said, great to see you out and about. So I guess you're okay. She's off of the hook for that one. And he said, go Raiders. He's going to be with one of the Raiders coming up. Before we do talk to this group of kids, we do have to do a giveaway. So those of you out there in the Route 33 Steakhouse, we're going to do a giveaway. Very quick trivia question for all of you out there. Roane County High School has had one cross-country track and field runner at Marshall University. What was her name? Stephanie Eastman. There you go. We got a giveaway. Maroon or silver? Maroon. Good, because Downey's already got a silver. There you go. You get yourself a WVRC koozie. Those things are pretty sweet. We'll do another trivia question here in a little bit, but we are joined, those of you who are watching us, at least on YouTube and Facebook. Sorry for the kids, we don't have TikTok on right now. I don't know what happened. I don't understand technology, and my tech guys are both not here. So I apologize if you guys thought you were going to be on TikTok tonight. I do apologize. That's not going to happen. But we're very happy to be joined by a bunch of youngsters here. We got Nick Taylor, Mac Webb, Josie Cox, Addie Taylor, and Olivia Linkenauger. Got it right that time. Finally, of the Roane County High School cross-country team. Well, we'll just work our way from closest to me across. Well, Nick, we just talked to you last week, buddy. Now you're back here. You guys had a long trip last week after we talked to you. You guys the next day had to go all the way to Hampshire, and that is, well, I don't know how far it was for you guys, but that's a long trip. How did that affect you guys as far as running was concerned?
Well, obviously when we left, or got there, we were a little sore. Had a few pinched nerves and everything, but a lot colder there, I'll say.
Yeah.
Pretty windy, but so it was a lot different. It was different for us, for sure.
Well, Nick, we talked to you, of course, last week about multi-sports that you had, and, of course, every once in a while you had a conflict of interest, but most of all you were able to do both of the sports in the fall. Is cross-country something that you wanted to do initially just to get prepared for track season, or is it something that you wanted to do because you love cross-country?
Well, to be honest, I never, ever planned on doing track or cross.
What?
Yep. Tony over here. Oh, yeah. Tony over here tracked my number down through my mom and said, just come out and try track one day. And once I came out for that first day, I loved it. And once I got on the track, I kind of had to do cross too. now I'm stuck in it.
Well, yeah, you're pretty good at it, too, so it's good that you're stuck in it. All right, we enjoy that. Of course, you're getting ready for basketball season coming up, but again, you're also still looking forward to a year coming up for track and field. Do you feel like cross country is that base that you need for the season as far as just, if nothing else, lung capacity?
Yeah, it basically keeps me in shape for, that little period of time in between basketball. Really gets me in shape for basketball, and then basketball gets me that kind of sprinting and to go straight into track. So, it helps me keep in shape, helps me get what I need.
Well, did you have any, again, as you said, you weren't exactly thinking cross country and track coming into high school. Did you have any goals that you had set for yourself this year? I know that cross country is kind of different, track and field is kind of different. If you're running in a timed race, it's always trying to beat your previous best, I think.
Yeah, originally I kind of, I wanted to break 18. That's always been a goal. But with the courses this year, yeah, that was not going to happen. A lot of hills, but placement-wise, I think I did a lot better this year prior than last year because it just showed a lot better placement, which I'm glad about.
Well, again, you finished your senior year up as cross-country athletes, so you've got a few more things to look forward to. We already talked to you, of course, last week about, your future and whatever it is you want to do. We do look forward, though, to covering you during basketball season, and, of course, looking forward to that track season. Do you have any idea what you're looking to do as far as track season this year? Are you going to stay middle distance and long distance?
For what I know, I'm probably going to stay in the 400, 800 range, most likely, Unless I make her mad one day, I'll probably go back to that long distance.
3,200's on your docket here, buddy. Okay, speaking of trying to stay in shape, right beside you is a youngster in Mac Webb. Mac, I did not know that you were a runner. I assumed, other than the fact that you were doing it to keep in shape for wrestling, I did not know that you were a runner. Did you know that you were a runner before you started cross country?
Well, me and Quinn Kean from Alpha Wrestling, me and him run just about every day in the summer.
Really?
And I never really thought about running as like a sport I would want to do or something. And then in Cleveland, I did 10K, and I loved it.
Okay.
And that was kind of, I wanted to do cross country. That was like that moment for me. And Tony made me like love the sport. She was a great coach, and I really loved it.
Oh, I'm glad she's here. Glad she's not in the hospital or anything like that. And again, it is good for you because you're getting ready to start another season. So you come off of that. Obviously, you try to stay in shape. There is shape, and then there's wrestling shape. At least for you to be able to pick a sport that you're going to use your lung capacity throughout, that's got to help you leading into wrestling season, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. So I think one of the biggest things in wrestling is that stamina, that lung capacity, and cross just helped me keep that bridge right there. And, I mean, it helped me a lot, I do think. Because I already did one tournament at the high school, the Halloween tournament we had, and I just felt so good. And I've never felt like that until I did cross, and it just kept me in way better shape than anybody else there.
Yeah, to those of you who are not multi-sport athletes, join some sports. It's a good idea for you. Did you have any goals set for yourself this year as far as that's concerned?
I mean, my goal was just to keep pushing, finish every race, and try and get as fast as I could, and just keep that stamina going and never lose it.
Well, speaking of stamina and multi-sport athletes right beside you, and in fact, this whole thing came about by the fact that Josie Cox was calling me out, by the way, after talking to my buddy here, Nick, about how awesome he was as a multi-sport athlete. And she's like, hey, by the way, I do 3 things in the fall, and I'm a multi-sport athlete also in the spring. So just so you know, you're back here this week because of Josie Cox. So, Josie, now you can't clam up on me now that you're here. Let me just ask you about cross country. Obviously, we know that you're a track specialist. I knew that going back to middle school, and we knew that was something you were very good at, very talented at, that you worked at. Was cross country on your radar when you came to high school?
I knew people did it, but I had never been interested in it because I'm a sprinter. I don't do long distance. And
yeah, there's a hard break between those two.
I got to about when school started, and Nick texted me and was like, you should come out for cross country. We need one more for a girls team. And he's like, it'll do great for your 300s. And so I showed up to practice, and Tony never let me leave. So
she seems to be very persuasive, guys. I don't know what that's all about. So let me ask you again. I've talked to you off the air numerous times. How in the world are you able to balance, let's just say, you are a member of the cross-country team. You are a member of the soccer team. You are also a member of the marching band. And, by the way, you have to go to school, just so you
Yes.
know. How do you balance that? And, of course, your dad, Rodney's like, yeah, right here, buddy.
It's a lot of, my family helps me out. I can't drive. My dad takes me everywhere. He drove me and Jimmy back 2 hours from Doddridge so we could play in a soccer game. He is like my biggest supporter. He gets me everywhere I need to go. And scheduling is a lot. I had to make a lot of decisions this season about where I was going and where I wasn't going. And it was tough, but it's decisions you have to make.
Well, I think on top of the fact that you got a good dad up there who would do anything to try to get you there, I think your coaches being able to give time from what they want to do. Hope up there as the marching band director, Tony, and then Trevor all have to kind of share you a little bit. And so for them to do that was really, I think, kind of cool to give you the opportunity to do everything you wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm thankful for my coaches because Tony shares me during the spring when I play softball and track.
Yep.
She's known to it, and I'm just glad that all my coaches let me do this because it gives me this great experience to play all these sports.
Let me ask you one more time. Is wrestling on the docket in the winter?
It is not. It is marked off my physical, actually, so I am not allowed to do it.
Well, good thing John Penna is not here. No cheerleading, no
and
wrestling.
no football.
No football for you. Okay, I was going to ask that at some point if football was on the docket for you as well. Well, again, we're looking forward, obviously, to seeing you when it comes to the springtime, both on the diamond and on the track, because I know you've got good goals coming up for track season for sure. I don't know what those goals are, but I imagine there's a number 1 in front of one of those. Yeah. Tell you what, by the way, she had a great state meet, in case
Yes.
anybody didn't know. She matched or excelled every Run WV is a big site, and she was at or above everything they planned for you, so that's a good thing. We're going to skip over the one that's next in line because I got to ask a couple extra questions of Addie Taylor. Olivia Linkenauger, you also are no stranger to the track. Obviously, you've worked with Coach McGinnis there, and you and Leanne decided that you guys wanted to try something new on your own. What was it in you that wanted to say, well, I'm a thrower, but I want to also run some cross country here? Oh, it helps if I turn it in. Hold on 1 second. Don't talk. Hold on. All right, now try it.
Well, I kind of made a promise to Addie in freshman year because she was trying to get me to do cross country my freshman year, and I told her I'd do the camp like over the summer for cross country, and I did it and I really liked it, so I just kind of finally decided to do cross country, and I didn't break my promise, so.
I don't know if these things are working. Hey, do me a favor. Give her your headset. Mac, give Addie your headset. I want to make sure people hear this. And listen, again, my tech people are not here. Let me apologize. My tech people are not here for this. All right, so we were talking with Olivia. And pull that headset down there. There we go. Okay, we're talking to Olivia. She said she decided she wanted to try a little bit something new. So let me ask you, after deciding you wanted to try cross country, what are your feelings about this sport?
I like it, but at the same time, I just really like it.
Were there any goals that you had set for yourself other than just finish races at the first part of it?
Not really. I just kind of wanted to finish the races, and I also wanted to improve little by little to see if I could catch up to different people, because I'd see a lot of the same people at different meets, so I'd try catching up to them.
So not only just your personal best each time that you run, you're running against the clock as a cross-country athlete, but when you see these people that beat you before, I imagine if you've got any competitive flair in you, you definitely want to beat people that have beaten you in previous races. So let me just ask you this, Olivia, after 1 year in cross-country, is this something you think you're going to be able to continue?
Yeah, I'll probably do it my junior and senior year.
Okay. Well, it's good that you got youth on this roster as well, Tony. So is there anything that you do in the wintertime as far as sporting events, or are you waiting until the springtime once again for track and field season?
I'll probably just wait for track.
And in track and field, are you specifically a thrower?
I kind of want to do something else this track season, like maybe run distance.
Okay.
But I also want to stick with throwing too.
Here's Nick trying to get away from distance running, and she's like, yeah, I'll do distance, no big deal. Well, obviously, I'm sure they're very happy to have you this year, Olivia, and hopefully you do stick it out with cross country, and I hope to see you on the track, not just over in the throwing area. That would be great. Well, we got one more beside of us, and that is, man, I tell you what, Addie Taylor, I'm going to start sending you Christmas cards, young lady, because you and I have spoken since you were, what, 5th grade?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think the first time I ever spoke, they were doing something special at the Armory, and I said, give me somebody that'll talk. And they pointed to Addie Taylor. I don't know if that was good or not, but you are not afraid to speak with us. Since then, I've spoken to you after a couple of different Black Walnut Festival races that you have won. You have had a really good sophomore campaign. Again, I spoke to you as a freshman, not during the season, but I spoke to you at the Black Walnut Festival that you won last year. And I said, what are your future plans? And number one on your list was, I want to become a state tournament runner. Well, goal accomplished this year.
Yes.
Well, what do you think about that?
Well, I'm definitely elated. I'm very glad I finally made it. I didn't get first or anything, but I'm satisfied with my performance, and I just want to improve from here.
Well, obviously coming in, this was a goal of yours. The movement to Hampshire and having to go to I would imagine, a course that they had not run at all. Were you nervous? Was the team nervous? Did you feel that, or were you guys more excited to run a new race?
I was very nervous. I always get extremely bad nerves right before a race. And I was just wondering, how is this going to affect me? Is the 5-hour drive going to affect my performance and my running? Thankfully, I don't think it did, but it was still very long and a little bit miserable.
Well, during the misery that was the race, let me ask you, was there a time that you knew that you were close to the goal that you had set for the year, which was to make the state meet? Or do you not, is that something that you guys can focus on during the race, or do you know, towards the end, you're like, hey, I think I'm still in blah, blah, blah place? Was there a time during the race that you felt it?
I knew the entire time that I was close. I was in 12th place for about 2.5 miles. And the same thing happened to me last year. I was in 12th place. I gave in to the mentality, and I ended up getting 15th last year. But I decided that I was this close to making it. I knew I had put in the effort, and so I pushed, and I got 9th.
Did you see yourself passing these girls and counting in your head? You're like, okay, 11, 10,
Yeah, I knew I had to get 9th place to secure placing and going.
So you've got another week ready. So what is the scenario like for you? Of course, after the race number one, you're not done on the season. You got to prep yourself for this state meet. How have you prepped yourself from last week to this week?
I went on a longer run on Saturday. On Sunday and Monday, I did a more intense workout, and then I've just taken it easy over the past couple days.
Trying to let the muscles recover, heal, and get ready for that track at Ona, or not track, I should say, that cross country track at Ona. So, well, I tell you what, Addie, we knew that this was possible when I spoke to you all those years ago as a 7th grader, and I thought, man, just give it time. And I didn't know maybe sophomore year was going to happen, but here it is that you have been. And I believe you're the first one in a long time, if ever, that is qualified for a cross-country state tournament for Maroon County. So we do say congratulations to you. It's a big feat for you. And, again, you're just a sophomore.
Yep.
She's like, yeah, whatever. I'm good. So you and Toby, I guess, are going to be heading that way. Oh, gosh. Just tell him to tell you, run faster. That's all he needs to say. Because I don't think that Toby's got, skill set to tell you, what you're doing within the race. Maybe he does. I don't know. You know Toby. I don't know. Nah, anyway, he'll just say run faster. Well, we do appreciate you all joining us. Addie, congratulations on qualifying. We wish you the best of luck coming up here on the state tournament meet. And the rest of you, keep on running. Well, Nick, we're going to see you run here in about 2 more weeks on the basketball court, and we're seeing you running. Are you playing basketball too? Jeez, a whiz. All right, somebody, if you have the money, somebody needs to become the paid travel assistant for Josie Cox. Ronnie, you could get paid for that, just so you know. No money? No. She didn't have time to have a job. Well, ladies and guys, thank you all for joining us. And, again, great season. glad that you guys are on the cross-country team. And for everybody coming back, keep on recruiting. We need numbers in cross-country. Those are your Roane County High School cross-country runners that are here. There's a couple that weren't here, but again, we've talked about them throughout the year. Folks, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to do another trivia question. We're going to give away another can koozie from WVRC. Until then, we'll be right back as soon as I find this. Oh, it helps. And turn you all off.
Hello, Raider fans. This is Andrew Miller, voice of your Roane County Raiders, inviting you to join us for another exciting week of Raider football on WVRC 104.7 FM. Last week, the Raiders put forth quite possibly their best effort of the season in a dominant 42-8 victory over Mingo Central. This week, the Raiders hit the road for the final time in the regular season as they travel all the way north to Marion County to face off against the North Marion Huskies. Roane County High School football is brought to you by these community-minded sponsors: Roane General Hospital, McIntosh Hardware, Furniture and Appliance, Jack Garrett Ford, Ashley Insurance, S2F Construction, Joel Baker Law, PLLC, Paramount Surveying, Route 33 Steakhouse, Miller's Suds and Sales, Roane Self Storage, Crazy Little Mamas, APS, Air Production and Services Inc., Circle S Farms, Roane Jackson Technical Center, Old Fences Realty, Backwood Ramblings, Stats Pharmacy, Erica Moore for House of Delegates, Honest Fred's Flooring, D&D Motors, Hildreth Supply, Family Healthcare, Groves Auto, Ward Depew Realty, Penna's Barbershop, Norman L. Daniels State Farm Agent, Hardman Supply, Juliana Penfold for House of Delegates, ECI Environmental Compliance Inc., Carpenter's General Store, Mini Hamilton Health Systems, Poca Valley Bank, Spencer McDonald's, Rich Top Rentals, Spencer Cash Saver, Brandon Dental, DW Excavating LLC, Spencer Pizza Hut, Kirby Insurance, Calhoun Banks, and the Player of the Game Award, sponsored by Willard C. Starcher Auto Parts. Join us this Friday night. Pre-game coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. and kickoff is set for 7 o'clock p.m. right here on your sports leader, WVRC 104.7 FM.
Since 2019, DW Excavating has been serving Roane and surrounding counties. We offer services including, but not limited to, repairing driveways, construction site preparation, drainage solutions, property brush clearing, farm road construction, culvert repair and installation, and utility line installation and repair. We provide free estimates. Check out our Facebook page or contact us at 304-532-2968 for more information. DW Excavating, taking pride in our work and in our community. DW Excavating is a proud supporter of all Roane County High School athletics. Go Raiders!
Great group of kids there, obviously. Roane County High School cross-country team. Of course, there were a few of them missing. William Sotomayor unable to attend. Leanne Oberster unable to attend. Of course, Jimmy Lance couldn't make it. He is, I imagine, or was most recently on the wrestling mat, as was Noah Penna. A couple of the runners for Roane County. Of course, Noah Bragg, another one of those dominant runners for Coach McGinnis, and it was good to have who we can have there. And of course, again, congratulations to Addie Taylor, the sophomore, and she is going to be contending for a top 10 finish or top 20 finish, I should say, in Class AA at the state cross-country meet. So we wish her the best of luck. Of course, Athletic Director Toby Ford is going to be there with her during that. Do appreciate everyone for tuning in. We've got a lot of people watching us, and we thank you all for watching us. I'm going to do a loaded question for those of you in the audience. So we've got a giveaway for those of you who are up there in front, and this is going to be a loaded giveaway question. It's going to be very easy. There was a former Roane County girls basketball player who most recently just signed to play in college at West Liberty University. What was her name? Who says it? It could be Sophie Nichols. All right, somebody give Wally Board the opportunity for a maroon or a silver one. What? Maroon or silver? Hey, ask him what color he wants, maroon or silver.
Silver, he said.
Is silver it is.
Hey, I got a question. What's her jersey number?
Oh, that would be an analytical question as well. I've got that one. We may ask that one later. All right, come get it. John Penna does not get to win anything right now because he almost cheesed out on us. He's here, but he is trying to slam some dinner finally before he does that. Yes, Sophie Nichols was the answer to the trivia question, and proud grandfather here is Wally Board to answer that question. So really good to have the cross-country team with us. Of course, when it comes down to as far as football is concerned, I want to say congratulations, a huge congratulations to the Roane County High School JV football team as they completed an undefeated season this past Monday night. They hosted Ravenswood and beat Ravenswood very, very big. And so the JV team has finished the regular season undefeated at 7-0, and we hope that continues to build on this program's success in the years to come. Of course, the only other football we had last week other than what we're getting ready to talk about, which is Roane County High School varsity football. The Spencer Middle School Yellow Jacket team was able to sneak into the playoffs of the CWVAC. They were the 4 seed playing the undefeated and number 1 seeded Braxton County Knights. They had to travel last Thursday to face off against Braxton County. Put together a really strong first half in that ball game. It was an 8-0 ball game until the final play of the first half, in which Braxton County was able to manage a deep throw, pass, and catch for a touchdown. It was 14-0 at the half, and again, the Yellow Jackets playing very good football. And unfortunately, they were unable to get things going offensively. A very late score with the score already 27-0. But tell you what, John Penna tuning in now with us, joining us. I got to find out where your headset is. I think it's right here. Yeah,
Sorry
it
about
is.
that.
No worries.
It's been a busy day.
Well, I tell you, we talked about it on the air last Thursday for the middle school team from Spencer, and I thought 4 plays, the only difference in that, honestly, 4 big plays, 3 of them on offense and 1 of them on special teams for Braxton County. Otherwise, I thought Spencer really availed themselves well in that loss in the first round of the semifinals.
Yeah, I think the coaches had a good game plan, and I think our kids executed pretty well. Was very impressed with how they played, like you said. Basically a punt return in the first half and one very nice pass play. I mean, you couldn't take anything away from the Knights. They were good.
Yeah.
And but Spencer played very hard, very tough fought game, and man, finish out your season at 4-3, a winning season. Last year Spencer Middle School had a winning season. We're going to send 6 8th graders up to the high school, and next year with an opportunity to bring 17 kids back on that team. Man, that's really promising. There's a lot of good football for that Spencer Middle School team next season.
And again, we talked about it. Spencer sending 6 and Walton sending 8 8th graders up. And again, that group, that core, is going to be the JV unit most likely coming up next year. And of course, you never know. There may be 1 or 2 that may see some varsity time, depending. But again, they're going to be the next group of junior varsity players. Yes. And the JV has really put together quite the season, and they have improved each and every ball game since the first one that we watched. They've really gotten the offense and the defense together. The special teams, by the way, also incredible, and it's been a good year for that JV unit. They finished Monday night with a dominant victory over Ravenswood, and they finished undefeated in the 2024 season. Got a lot of games into.
They did. They were 6-0 on the season. So
going into that game, they were 6-0, I believe. I think they finished 7 or 6-0.
So they had played Work County twice, Lincoln County, Clay County, Ravenswood, and I think they're actually. I think they finished
maybe 6-0. They finished. Yeah. Whatever it was.
It was impressive. They put a lot of points up throughout the season. It was kind of the same deal with the varsity. You pick your running back who you wanted to see, carry the ball.
Yeah.
Deaver, man, he had a heck of a season. JV in the backfield. You had Jace Miller was another one of those guys that was very impressive downfield runner, especially this past week when a Ravenswood defender made a business decision and said, you know what, I'm going to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Evan Greathouse, really, really
Yes.
good in the backfield himself. And then Javon Letourneau did a great job of running quarterback. Javon's one of those kids that has been football savvy since C-team. He just seems to understand the game, and that's why he's got some varsity play this year. So impressed with him. I think if he gets into the weight room and puts a few more pounds on next year, varsity, some minutes are going to come his way, which they have this year as well. But, yeah, an overall good season for the JV unit, going undefeated. Impressive, but impressive by the coaches as well. You don't get a whole lot of time to prep or prepare or even get reps with your JV guys. So Coach McGinnis, Steve McGinnis, doing a great job. Justin Roberts doing an excellent job as well. And in Shadrach Greathouse, it's good to see these young guys that have played in the program come back and help coach. But they're doing it the right way. Justin Roberts is coaching the offensive line. Shadrach coaches quarterbacks. I mean, he's one of the smartest, savviest quarterbacks to ever come through Roane County. And then Coach McGinnis, running backs, receivers, DBs. A lot of good stuff from those guys. They've been in the offense. They understand what Coach Burdett wanted them to run when they were there, so it's kind of an easy transition for them to teach that.
Yeah, 100%. And, again, a lot of those guys next year at the JV level are going to be called upon to be moving up and put in some very good work at the varsity level, because there are some varsity players that are going to be lost next year. Before we talk about any of that stuff, hey, check out this guy. I said he was not going to make it, John. I just assumed that if practice was from 5:30 to 7:30, that Coach Paul Burdett was going to take off his hat, relax, lean back, and sit in the coach's office until about 8 o'clock. But guess what? He is a committed man. He made her here on short notice. And I tell you what, we waited as long as we could. Coach, I've got food for you coming if you want it.
Well, if it's late, it's all right. I can eat at home.
Listen, it's quite all right. They've got food. Let me just get a hold of Jorge here just a second.
You're okay. I'm not going to eat right here on camera and make everybody jealous.
Don't worry. Hey, Will, can we get coaches normal? Awesome. And it's going to be called the Coach Burdett Special, I think, at this point.
The coach is normal.
Let's do it.
So we just talked about a great season for the JV team.
Braxton County, that's the one y'all missed.
Oh, thank you.
And you're welcome.
You.
Thanks.
Well,
he shows
up and helps out once in a while. And a good season for the JV team. And, again, getting better on top of just winning, getting better each of those victories. And a lot of those guys are going to be called upon next year at the varsity level for you guys. But you guys have really put together a 3-week stretch, Coach, that has really inspired not only excitement in the community, but excitement amongst you guys, I hope amongst the kids themselves, but I know excitement amongst us, because we were waiting early in the season. We're like, the guys don't quite look there yet because we know what they're capable of. And then Polka happened. And then after that, another Logan happened. And then what I would call, again, I don't know if I should say it, just a bit of a surprise to me based off of what we knew from Mingo Central coming in versus what transpired on Friday night. I did not expect that level of a dominant performance for you guys, and I don't think it was as much Mingo Central because they came in, they were ready, they were fired up. I think it was more you guys establishing the dominant play that you did that took them out of the ball game in that first half. I think that your guys right now are continuing to improve, and that's a great sign.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about, peaking, and there comes a time during the season where all football teams will peak, and they kind of hit the pinnacle of what they're going to be, and I don't think we're there yet. I think that we've gotten better each and every week. I think our guys are excited. They're still excited to go to practice. It's not a bore to them. And it just keeps growing, and that's exactly what you want, especially, 8-0, and obviously you're in the playoffs. You want to keep getting better each and every week, and you want that peak to happen at the right time. And 14 years of coaching, I think this is the deepest in the season that we've went, and not feel like we felt that we've reached our peak yet.
Yeah. And it's a good sign because you guys have improved each week, and it just keeps getting tougher. Some big games here and big games there. Obviously, though, it's not going to be any bigger than the one that you guys have here in a couple of nights. You go up to Farmington, up in Marion County, for the first time ever in school history, and you're going to go up in class to a number 6 ranked North Marion team that has had your all's number in the previous 2 years. We happened to see them 2 years ago in the playoffs. That was, of course, a great first half. We lose, of course, you lose Delk, and that kind of changed the complexion for us, obviously, in that game, because I thought we were really on our way there. And, of course, last year you see them in the regular season, and that was a team in North Marion, by the way, that ended up playing for and losing a state title by 1 point. That was obviously a dominant team. This North Marion team, a different looking group, but again, still having that success that they seem to have year in and year out. Number one, it comes from their head coach, somebody you know pretty well at this point in Darren Hayes. Yeah, Coach Hayes and I have a pretty good relationship, and he's a good guy, great coach, young, a little younger than I am. Been doing it as a head coach a little longer than me. Enthusiastic, and he does a great job of prepping these kids and getting them ready to play each and every week. And like I told our guys, those guys are going to be ready to play when we get up there Friday night. There's no doubt about that. John, you got a chance to watch a little bit of film. Obviously, we saw Casey Minor for the last couple of years. The left-hander was not only a tremendous football player defensively all around, but he could throw the football, and if needed to, he could run the football, and he knew when to do it and how to do it. Well, they've lost him. He has now moved on. But they've got a guy, and they've got a quarterback, and they've got talent around him that they just seem to be able to do that still.
Yeah, I think, different. It's a different look, of course, without Minor, being there and leading those guys and being that 2-year starter or maybe a 3-year starter. So they were going to rotate a couple quarterbacks. It seems to me, I don't know names, but it seems to me that number 8 is more of a running quarterback. Number 15 is the guy that likes to throw the football around a little bit more. That's what it seems like to me. But they've got good hard runners, guys that like to run the ball, and they always have a good size offensive line guys up front that move pretty well and open up holes for those running backs. You look back to last year's team; it was kind of the same deal. They opened up holes. The backs were able to run, especially in that state championship game. They're always a tough team. But I do think that Roane County this year just has a little bit of a different flavor to it. Going there, playing these guys. The group of kids that are there have been a part of that the last couple of years, and they understand that, it's kind of what's in front of them. I said it to you last week. The next couple of weeks are kind of like playoff games for Roane County to kind of get us where we want to be when the season ends. So I think our guys definitely understand that, and they're going to be up for the task. Well, Coach, having seen North Marion for the previous 2 seasons under Darren Hayes, obviously there is a program mentality for them. There's a program mentality for you guys. They have a system that they run. Now, everything gets tweaked year in and year out and game in and game out, as does for you. But is the familiarity now something that, does it make it easier or harder for you guys and for them to prep for each other? I think you guys scheme a little differently each and every year. Last year it was a lot about Casey Minor and trying to stop him, and good luck. Not a lot of people did. Yeah, and this year they're splitting time at quarterback, and they got a couple different running backs. They flop in and out, and they're still a very good football team. They're big up front. They're physical. They got good backs. They got good receivers, and defensively they're hard to deal with on the defensive side of the ball. So. Schemes change. We're not the same team we were last year. But definitely bring a little bit more to the table, I think, and as far as what we can do offensively as opposed to what we brought last year.
can still do the same things we did last year, but we do other things a little bit better. So I think it's tough for each of us, and it'll be a chess match Friday night. It's been a chess match all week, I'd say.
But that's the excitement about it. That's why you guys do it, because of that excitement, intensity, and the way you have to prepare for a team. Obviously, this is the biggest game of the season for you. Every game's big, and we talk about it. You can't go to where you want to be unless you win one each week, which is why that 1-0 mentality has been so important to you and the staff to build in this program. But obviously, none of us are blind. We know this is a big one. This is Class AA number 2, Class AAA number 6. Points are on the line, obviously. And I think for Roane County, I don't know, and we can say this because we get to talk about it all the time, but for Roane County, there are still a lot of people, I think, around the state that don't quite believe in the Raiders just yet. I think they're looking for this marquee matchup. I don't know, John. It just seems that maybe people are waiting to see this one and then see how we perform, and then like, oh, that's right, they are the real deal. We kind of know that we're the real deal, but this would go a long way for us to squash some of those situations.
It's going to open some eyes. You hear North Marion, they're always a good program, and if anybody that follows high school football has watched the last couple of years, they kind of see that, North Marion last year was a very tough team, and they're a team that made it to the championship. For me, I kind of like where we're at in that, you get a chance to go and show what you're capable of doing, and then maybe you open some eyes, but maybe they're a lot wider than what folks thought that they were.
Well, Coach, you're in it every single day, every single week. You guys had a later practice this evening. Number one, touch on that real quick and let us ask you how practice has been for these guys this week.
I think it's been I've said it before, but this is the best week we've put together. Really, really has been. I thought Monday was really good as far as our focus and our our attention to detail on film. And then yesterday, of course, it's a little odd because it's 80 degrees at the end of October here. So, yesterday was a good practice in the heat and really good focus, great energy. And, I kind of rewarded the guys a little bit. They like a late practice. We did one earlier in the year when it was extremely hot, and I just felt like that, they just brought a different type of energy and excitement. And so I said, hey, man, it's going to be warm on Wednesday. You guys want to back it up and do a little bit of a later practice, and they were all about it. And, man, if it wasn't for putting stress on our parents, I'd do it every night.
After the results,
I love their mentality. I love their focus, their energy, just everything about it. Just something about a late practice that changes our guys. And I don't know if it's because it puts them closer to 7 o'clock, 7:30, and that's what that's their.
That's what they're used to.
I don't know. That's their exciting time, I guess. But it's been really, really good. I'm so proud of them, and we got to finish it off tomorrow and then obviously Friday. But couldn't ask for a better week.
Well, that's good to hear, John. Obviously, you and I know this group so well, and this just sounds like this group. Yeah. I remember talking about how each game of the and again, it's Midget League. Midget League is not the same at all. But this group has been kind of the same as far as mentality. And I remember every single week being nervous as all get out, and you were like, dude, it's good. They've got it figured out. And when it mattered the most, they locked in the most. And right now, this group seems to be locked in. They seem to have flipped whatever switch needed to be flipped, going all the way back to the Braxton County game and the victory. But I think something has changed in them, or not changed, I should say. They've just brought out the best in themselves, and they are really preparing themselves for what is to come here Friday night.
Yeah, I talked with Clay and I talked with Lane the other day, and I talked to Lane quite a bit, see him a lot, and it's just what we talked about. He was really focused, and to know Lane like we do, we goof around with each other a lot, but he was really really tuned in, and that was a good conversation that he and I had. So I think that they know and they see what's in front of them, and they're hungry to prove some folks wrong around the state that might not think that we are who who we think we are. You know, Coach Green.
Speaking of hungry, Bart Harper says Brogan's going to town on your food right now, Coach. And Bo Williams says, "Is that Gelvia beef? Is that how you say it?"
It's not. I don't believe it's Gelvia beef, but it'll do in the short term here.
It'll work for what it is.
You know, listen. I want to tell you, these guys. I really don't think they care about anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't think they care about what people say outside our program. I think they're out to prove to themselves each and every week. And
that's even better.
You know, we talk about it, and I talk about it to you a lot of times on the pregame show. You know, it's about us and about what we do and how we do it. And if we can continue to work and get better each and every week, you know, when that peak hits, it's going to be maybe even more fun than what it has been. But I just can't say enough how proud I am of them. And you know. Friday's a big game because Friday's the next game.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality we have. And obviously there's some history with these guys, but you know, that's in the rearview mirror. You know, we're working on what's in front of us, and these guys understand that, and just excited to let them go turn it loose Friday night and see what happens against a really good football team.
Well, now, Coach, I looked at their site and I looked at your site on SSAC. Yours said TBA. Theirs says 7 p.m. I put it at 7 p.m.
It's 7 o'clock.
Okay, it's a long trip up north, but again, folks, it is a worthwhile trip. If you've never been there, we've never been there. It's going to be our first trip up to North Marion. I know they have a good facility there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It should be a great atmosphere because 2 top 10 teams in their class. It's going to be exciting. And so why not take the opportunity? Hey, by the way, the Mountaineers are off on Saturday anyway, so just come up there to Farmington in Marion County and get yourself a little bit of a view of this Roane County team and see what they can do here on Friday night. It's going to be a fun time.
I think it will be. You know, there's a big game right down the road from it too, but you know what? We don't have any ties to that
Just
game.
A little bit. Bridgeport, Fairmont Senior, no big deal.
We don't have any ties with that game, though. That's all AAA stuff. It doesn't matter to us. We may be playing a AAA Friday night, but, I think it should be a great atmosphere. You know, obviously playoff-type atmosphere, number 2 versus number 6. Last year, I think it was 1 versus 2. Mm-hmm. I just want to go get after it, man.
Yeah. Coach Gray just messaged and said, you know, it's that time of the year where it gets darker earlier. It gives you that playoff time feeling. So Coach Gray's going to make the trip. I mean, we talked the other day. Everybody around town, man, very, very excited for what's coming up Friday night.
Well, we've had a really good stretch of good weather coming up here, Coach. And I know it just seems like we just got you here because we just did, but that burger's getting cold. So I want to flip the script for you real quick, let you give us your weather forecast for Friday night up in Farmington.
I think Friday's going to be fun. Now, Thursday night, a little bit of wet weather coming through maybe and lasting maybe into the morning on Friday, but looks like it's going to clear.
Near the Capitol. But we'll talk about that later. Don't worry about it. I can say it. He ain't going to say a word about that. So it is Friday night football coming up. 7 p.m. is the kickoff at North Marion High School. Pregame coverage will be on the air at 6:30 p.m. Very exciting stuff, John Penna. As always, I'll give you the last thought.
Yeah, you know, if you're able to make the trip, come support these Raiders. These guys have put a ton of work into this season. 8-0 right now. So exciting times for the Raiders once again. And not only that, but I want to be the first to say happy birthday to Brogan Burdett tomorrow. As he turns 13 years old. He's a teenager.
Oh, my gosh.
No more youngins at the house.
Well, we know why all the grays are there, Brogan, on his head, you know.
It was not a gray head till I was going to say 19. Till 2011.
I do it all the time.
Halloween.
2011.
Halloween birthday for Brogan Burdett. Happy birthday to Brogan as well. And again, folks, we look forward to Friday Night Football. We hope that you all decide to make the trip. If you can't, obviously, you can join us on all of our platforms on WVRC. Another episode is coming on. I want to thank DW Excavating, as always, our exclusive sponsor for the Raider Review. Thanks to Jorge and the crew here at Route 33 Steakhouse. I tell you what, it is building here, by the way. We keep getting more and more people every single
I pulled
episode.
in today and it was packed.
Absolutely. Good stuff for us here on episode 11 of the Raider Review.